Go.
Here we go. Lunchtime. We said we'd be back, and we've just had our first games. So yeah, Alex is eating lunch. So I'll crack on. So I've had a draw. So I came up against Legio Furians, and yeah, pretty close game. Had jabbed the warlord in the bum. It went catastrophic, so that was pretty good. But yeah.
My game was looking a bit dicey up until my warlord got very spicy and exploded, killing 3 warhounds and a reaver in my repair phase.
So dicey became spicy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So dicey became spicy.
Yeah.
I had Legio Ignatum, a Corsair animal, which is terrifying, very maneuverable. I lost. Left a warhound down to the open because the Ignatum is war gear of +1 to hit tonight hits. So it was hidden, but not hidden enough, so it exploded. But I did manage to take out down 2 of the Corsairs, 2 of the Reavers even, and also got to punch something with the Warlord's fist.
You finally got to punch something.
It's not very good, but
It's not very good. Actually, I'm surprised. We've seen a lot of warlords with power fists, and I'm so surprised. Yeah.
so it is good, I was using it wrong.
I saw a warlord with 2. What?
That's a flex.
So yeah, it's a mixed results then between us. And we've got Nick on the camera as well.
Yeah, I lost.
That's why he's on the camera.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I only got a draw through secondaries. I got nothing on the primary because I forgot about it, and I was like, I want to get an angle on the.
I think I got 5 on the primary and 5 on the secondary.
Yeah.
I put virulent volt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of ignored the primary, walked off into good punch things.
I was almost about to explode in his deployment zone, and I was like, you know what, if he's about to explode anyway, so I might as well just there's a big mess of Titans here, I could just be involved in the explosion.
Hello!
And I got blown up by my own warlord, so
Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah.
Good times so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's
Yeah.
nice to play some of Legios. Or at least 2.
Yeah.
Alex is the
fair.
worst.
Yes.
Does cheat sometimes.
Does cheat. It has been known to. So
On his opponents.
it's really nice to see some of the Titanicus players we sort of met online, but we don't know in person. And just
It's funny
sort
putting
of
a
chat.
Discord name to a face.
Yeah.
On Instagram now.
Yeah.
I recognise your Titans. Oh, that's been a fun.
Yeah. It's that. So no, looking forward to it. Looking forward to our
Having a good time.
game 2. Game 2 is going to start in about 10 minutes, so we better
Wrap up.
wrap up. So we'll be back, either crying, happy, who knows?
Or a split of 3. A spectrum.
Screaming. All screaming.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, and we're back, and as you can probably tell, we are all home, all gone our separate ways, all gone home, and we're here for a bit of a recap. So we'll start off with Nick. So tell us how your last couple of games went. What went right and what went wrong?
I lost my second game. I was up against basically a greater post-combat list that just charged across the board. There's a load of Reavers and a Warhound. I think it was a Corsair and a Ferox they were running. It was a custom Legio. It was a very quick game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was running a Power Fist and Bane Fists on the on all the Reavers.
All the Reavers.
On all the Reavers.
That takes a hurt.
So, yeah, with some warp missiles and the Vulcan Megabolter basically backing it up, and yeah, just couldn't kill them fast enough. He ran across the board and basically one-shotted my Warlord, the Reaver, which was quite depressing. And it kind of all went downhill from there. Did all right in my third game though.
Third game? That's the one we want to hear about.
Someone. Yeah, I won that one, thankfully.
Yay!
Yay! Thanks to Alex coming along and explaining how the points worked at the end. Really helpful.
Walked over and finished my game. Nick was looking very glum, and I think you were playing an exterminatus medal, weren't you? So there were still 3 warlords alive on the other side of the table.
Yeah,
that's probably why you look so miserable.
Yeah, nothing. I think he killed 2 warhounds. Then managed to get rid of a unit of knights, and that was basically all that died in the game. I positioned myself really, really badly. in that one.
You say that you won.
Yeah, but I reckon I could have like at least taken out a warlord if I'd have been able to focus a bit more fire and get some kind of firing line.
It's,
But other than that,
sorry.
other than that, it went okay. Like
And
it wasn't anything to write home for, but I did eventually win.
And you're happy that you got. Well, this is your first tournament win, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
My aim was to basically win at least one of the games. So I'm really pleased that I managed to scrape that in the last.
Absolutely, and so you should be. So you were running a Ferox, were you?
An Ossidax Ferox with a warlord in support.
Would you change anything? Would you?
I don't think so actually. I think my main problem was having played you guys kind of repeatedly. I kind of got into how it worked. I don't think I did anything strategically wrong. I just think that playing against different people and not knowing how they play is actually what threw me a lot.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting in the second game everything to just suddenly appear on my side of the board turn 2.
How Titanicus works, is it? That's not how Tempestus Mortis or Volturum work, anyway.
No, absolutely not. Turns out other other lots do, which was quite eye-opening.
So we'll go on to. So there were 28 people. How did you get on overall?
I think, if I remember rightly, I came 24th.
23rd,
I missed the
23rd.
23rd. Okay. Missed the wooden spoon, thankfully.
Yeah. It's already a massive improvement from last time. So there you go.
Yeah, and I got a set of dice from the guy who I played in the first game, because mine were that bad and he felt that sorry for me.
Yes. So that was Chris.
Yeah, Chris from Tabletop Standard.
Gave us some pity dice.
in about a year's time, when we go to Reactor Meltdown 3, Revengeance, whatever it's called, just hand him a set of bottom of the barrel dice when you beat him.
Yes, bottom of the barrel dice coming at some point, I imagine.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah, as long as you get like sponsorship, free sponsorship, then yeah, totally.
So, Alex, onto your Tempestus, your loyalist Tempestus. Yes. How did the tournament end up for you? So, your first game we've already been over.
Second, it's not dissimilar to Nick's in that I was also against a custom traitor Legio focused heavily on close combat. My opponent said, I think he was running a Fortis mana pool. I think he was running it mainly so he could get 2 Warlords and a Reaver in, and he had something else in support. I think a second Reaver as well.
But he wasn't running it like a Fortis, was he?
He was not running it like a Fortis mana pool because one of these Warlords has 2 claws, which was very intimidating. And much like Nick, he got first turn and suddenly he yeeted a Warlord 12 inches or something silly up to the middle of the field, threatening my Reaver. Fortunately for me, I had a complete opposite of Nick. Whereas Nick, you had a Warlord punch out your Reaver and dictate how the game was going to go. I had a Reaver punch out your Warlord. This dual claw Warlord charged my Reaver, got 5 attacks, missed with 3 of them, dealt a devastating and a direct hit with the 2 that did land, and then shoved my Reaver back 3 inches out of reach. It was the worst it could possibly have gone for my opponent. I felt so bad for him. He looked a bit like he's going to cry. That kind of dictated how that game went. He was meant to take that flank and then just didn't. The Reaver just, well, fine, I'll just wander off and went around the Warlords. Was able to mop up the other side of the field to an extent. Eventually brought down his second Warlord. I think it was running 2 Plasmas and Carapace Gatlings. We both completely ignored the objective, or forgot about it anyway. But I did win on secondaries because my secondaries keep my Princeps alive, and he just couldn't get his done. It was a fun game. My opponent did get diced. I got lucky. I did not really outplay him. I just
and you
I won a game.
Yes,
I won that one.
Well done.
Yes. And then third game was against Tony, also known as Jeff from Tabletop Standards. So another Battle Report team versus Battle Report team. He's much better at Titanicus than I am. he was running a Corsair and a Lupercal. Minimum strength, so 3 and 3. And just outmaneuvered me, out-activationed me. I managed to get my warlord stuck on a piece of terrain where I was trying to go around a very big building and then got sabotaged and ended up on, I think, split fire orders, so you just spent an entire turn just staring at a wall.
The warlord tactic.
Yes, the warlord! It didn't go very well. Tony was again, there was no real swing of luck either way. He outplayed me. But that's fine.
It's very, very honest of you to say so.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah, exactly. And it was, like Nick said, it was actually wonderful for the entire day to play against people who you don't normally play. Because obviously you generally have a big wargaming group and everyone will play 40k, but then you will have a smaller group of people who will play Titanicus. So we generally play against each other quite a lot. I know a few people at the tournament were saying that. So it was actually a real treat to go and play
different legios, different mana pools, just different play styles.
Yeah.
Some players can be incredibly aggressive, some will be much more defensive. Really exciting and again educational, but it did mean that when I came up against legios that I'd never come across before.
Yeah.
I've never even played against a Corsair before because you quite like your warlords. Nick, I've played you only once, and Dan.
I like
Warbringer.
You like Warbringer. I like Warbringer.
Yes.
So would you change anything about your list with your precepts mana pool? I know you were saying you didn't like your Warbringer.
Maybe it's the points that I was running it at, in that I was able to get. So the precept mana pool, it just fit into 1650 points, and it meant I had no war gear upgrades. So my warlord was using corridor arc with laser blasters. It meant that my Warbringer was a platypus. It didn't know what it wanted to be. It had a Gatling cannon and a volcano cannon and a quake cannon. It had no ideal effective range. The list just didn't really do anything. There was, in hindsight, I bought along the Titans I finished painting recently and didn't really have a game plan. So yeah, next tournament I go to, probably back to the drawing board. We've got another one coming soon, and probably going to try a Corsair Lupercal, funnily enough. I've got some plans for that. But and yes, I don't like Warbringers. I don't think they're very good.
They're great.
But there's empirical evidence that they are, because how's it go for you, Dan?
Well, what was it? My next game. So my first game was against
Jeff.
Jeff, who you had in your last game.
But not Jeff.
Second game, I was against Alex, who Soph had in her first game.
Yes. So this was the chap I drew against. But Dan.
So it's a full Lupercal mana pool for support warlord.
Yeah.
And
luckily,
Furians, if I remember rightly.
I remember watching this game. Luckily, Dan remembered his Legio trait at least 40% of the game.
Yeah, I always forget the Vulturum Legio trait of if something's died that turn, you get +1 to hit.
Which is
really good against Lupercal mana pools that are full of easy to kill warhounds.
Yeah.
And it's really big with my Arcus mana pool with a Warbringer hitting on a -2 for shooting out line of sight, and then +1, I'm only on a -1. It's pretty good. And I remembered it this time, and I just kept quake cannoning warhounds. Basically, was my main goal.
Yeah.
Warhounds are really good if they're fast. If they're quake and concussed, they're not so good.
Yeah. And so you managed to win your second game?
Yep, so I won that one pretty solidly. I think he just had the warlord left and maybe a warhound on like very little life left.
Yes. So I'm going to jump in here now, and we'll finish your tale later, Dan. And jump in with my afternoon. So I came up against George, who he's often mentioned in the Maximal Fire podcast. He said he's never been on yet, so it's that George against another Legio Furians, and this time, so in my list, I was running a Ferox with a support warlord and 2 support Knight Lancers. My big gimmick of the day was outflanking the Lancers and then warp surging them into combat range and people just didn't see it. He brought 2 lances of Cerastus Knights, three each, and came at me, and managed to knock out my Warlord. I got a cheeky Bellicosa on his Cerastus Knights, and by the end of the game, my Cerastus Knights had gone and poked a Warlord in the bum, as they do, and I didn't manage to table him. But we did get to turn 5, and I had picked up both objectives, and I'd played 40k enough to know that this is how I max out objectives. So I was fully in that 40k mindset, and I think I won 45 to not much. It was like
I think I'd be in that
3 or
mindset
4.
by now, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Probably should be.
especially since you've done so well in 40k recently. And then my final game was against a Ruptura Maniple, and so this is yes, so 2 Warbringers, and I managed again trump card 2 Cerastus Lancers, jumping out of outflank, hammering down a Reaver, and then jumping in, charging a Nemesis Warbringer, almost getting him down, and then just having it shotted back. Honestly, two Cerastus Knights in anyone's back lines, I guess, especially against an artillery list, he had a bad day. I did admittedly get incredibly lucky, which I Vulcan Mega Bolted down a shielded Reaver. He didn't have full shields, and then just one-shotted him, one-tapped him with a plasma blast gun to the legs. Got a devastating and 3 crits. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't realise we were here to have fun. That's not allowed. So the guy I played against was incredibly good sport about it, and he laughed along. And in fact, I should take a moment to say that everyone I played against at that tournament was wonderful to play against. You know, they were great opponents, and a great crowd. But yeah, so placings. This was my second tournament where I've placed 4th. So, with last time Alex beating me to the podium. So I'm consistent, if anything. But with a draw, a win, and a win, I'm incredibly happy that I didn't drop a game as such in a tournament, which that's a first. And I'm really chuffed about that.
You should be.
Yeah. Now, speaking of which, Dan, your final game.
So I once again played Chris from Tabletop Standard, who played Nick in the first game, with his. He was playing Mortis, which is also a full Lupical Maniple and a support Warlord.
Yeah, so he was bringing the Penumbral Reaper as well.
The named. Which was quite scary. But it was. I don't remember the name. The mission was. What was the final mission?
Kill points.
It kill points.
Kill points. Yeah, it's kill percentage. Yeah. So if you kill 25% or more, kill 50% or more, kill 75% or more.
Which I'm amazed with Nick not killing a single Warlord. How you managed to win that game? So fair play. Yeah. Sorry, go on, Dan.
And my secondary objective was I had to pick 2 of his Titans that I wanted to kill in the first 2 rounds. I got points for that.
Oh, Expedient Strike, I think.
Yeah, which is really lucky versus a Lupical Maniple, to be honest, because Warhounds die pretty easily if focused down.
Yeah.
Most of the time. There's also some ridiculous dives in both directions throughout the game. I managed to charge with a Warhound, like a very long charge into a very crippled Warhound. I think I had 6 attacks, hit 5, went to wound, 4 1s, and a 2. A 3 would have killed it.
Oh.
And the game was incredibly close. We both killed over 50, ended up killing over 50% of each other's armies, and I'd scored 10 points on my secondary, and I managed to deny Chris his secondary, the second point of it, because it was defend your board edge, so it's distance from the board edge, and I think I was half an inch within the boundary. To deny him the extra 5 points, so I won by 5 points.
And needless to say, there's no pre-measuring in Titanicus, of course. So,
So it's literally by this much, my Warhound's foot was inside his within his board edge by I think it's 23.5 inches or something like that. To deny him 5 points, which meant that I won the game overall. So I got 3 wins.
he wins.
Your first Titanicus tournament.
Yes, I was like, I'll be happy to win a game and play some new people.
Yeah.
Which meant
But
Not only that, where did you place overall?
I came third. Won a nice
Hooray!
trophy and surprise.
Yeah.
Which also meant I got some nice battle bling things.
Hooray!
Big Gatling cannon and a big
Yeah.
chainsword. Big chainsword will come in handy.
Yes, because this tournament was pre the Traitor Legions book being.
Yeah.
I think the tournament was on the weekend of the Traitor Legions book.
Yeah, it came out on the Saturday.
So
The
we have
heretics were sat there reading it, weren't you, the evening
Yeah.
before? Going,
Yeah.
I wish we could use this.
I sat at the Airbnb playing Beer Hammer,
yeah,
reading the traitor book, going, "Oh, that's cool."
that's cool. I'll use that at some point. So, yes, a big congratulations to Dan. I am, of course, slightly upset that I was knocked off the podium yet again by one of my friends.
Well, you'll have to have a deciding match, won't you?
It'll happen to me one day. But you know what? Big congratulations, Dan, and well
you.
deserved.
You weren't that far behind me for having a draw.
Yeah, it was something. I think I was like 320, and you're about 340 points.
Got it
Something.
here. Let's check for
I
you.
think I
Yeah.
would have managed to score more points if all of my games hadn't ended on turn 4.
Oh yeah.
Sophie, you got 341 points. Dan, you got 360.
There we go.
26 points or something. I think.
19.
See, all I'm taking away from this is that I need to knock Sophie off the podium next.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna keep all my titans apart and not have them fall on each other, and that'll show you.
Yeah, that'll definitely cause me some issues.
Yeah, I mean, my dirty trick was a bit of a one trick pony, which was essentially outflanking the Sarastas Knights. But it worked, and it's not my skill at playing the game. It was that one thing, which so I will be interested.
Sell yourself short. It's a valid tactic.
Yeah.
That's your opponents. They know you're going to do it, so you are still outplaying them to an extent by setting it up.
Yeah, it's Oh, thank you, Alex. No, I'm going to see how well I do. Not taking. So we've got another tournament coming up in a couple of weeks.
That's soon. It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
1 month
Early December.
1 month
Yeah.
early
today.
December. So I'm going to have my traitor book, and so is Dan.
Yes, that's some changes.
Technically, so does Alex as well, but he's
I've got my Legio rules. I've got a stratagem that's something.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
No, Alex, Tempestas have been nerfed hugely, didn't you know?
Oh, sorry.
right. Enough salt from these
No,
two.
they haven't. They haven't.
So just wrapping up there. Anyone got any more thoughts they want to say?
Obviously, thank you to Maximal Fire for organising it. It was great to actually meet you guys in person and put faces to voices.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet everyone there, to be honest.
Nice to meet everyone. It was, I think I've already mentioned this, but it was very strange that most people who are online in the Titanicus community in the UK were in this room. It was surreal, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't just the people who have YouTube channels. Everyone was fantastic to play against. The stand of hobby was insane.
So good.
Yeah. Like every army, you could see the passion and effort that got into it.
Yeah.
For me, what I enjoy about Warhammer is the spectacle of my nicely painted army versus their nicely painted army, and getting that was, that whether I won or lost, that made the whole day worthwhile.
I remember you saying against your first game, chap called Simon, if you're watching, hi. With his
army was beautiful, and he was lovely, and he stopped me. So I can't even be mad because he's too nice.
Yeah.
I can play a 40k game and go away going, oh, well, at least my army's prettier. But let's do this.
So yeah, I'll second that. Everyone we spoke to, everyone we chatted to was absolutely wonderful, and it was a great atmosphere there. Again, big shout out to the tabletop standard of Maximal Fire guys, and we sat and had a pint with them at the pub afterwards, didn't we? And that was all just a nice, just a nice tournament, de-stress. Yeah. Any more last thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
No.
More videos coming soon. Again, we've had quite a shake-up. Nothing's changed for you, Nick, but us three have all got some new rules to try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dan, those Battle Bling weapons did not come with a free iconoclast, did they? So you had to buy your own.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah,
So
whoops.
that's on its way.
Shame.
And
Slipped into a
I
basket.
currently we're just going to do a sneaky work in progress of my next warlord. So let me know. CNC appreciated. Any thoughts? Let me know.
Some armor on it.
Lovely pixels. I think they might be silver.
Fine.
Are you
Fine,
sure that's
can't
lore
handle
accurate?
I
Right.
think that's it.
Yes. So thank you very much for watching.
Yes.
Go check out some of Maximal Fire or Tabletop Standard if you don't know about them already. And we'll see you again soon. And if you're playing Titanicus, maybe at the next tournament.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.